Hi you guys, this is Miss Merced, and I'm going to continue with the binomial expansion idea that we were just talking about in the last video. So just as a quick reminder, in the last video we were asked to expand the binomial a plus b, and this was the final answer. Here was all the work that we did. We did a plus b, and that was to the 0 power, and that got to 1, and then this, and then so on and so on and so on. So the final answers, all this work was in the previous video. So the final answer looked like this. And I just want you to just have a refresh just before we go over this PowerPoint. So with regards to this PowerPoint, binomial expansion, here is an example, and this is actually the example we did, the a plus b. And if you multiply it out, you'll see in the first one here, the a plus b, that was the one that was getting squared. This is what you get. And then you can just take that last result and then multiply it one more time, and that's the a plus b to the third. And then do it again, and that's a plus b to the fourth. So we talked about that in the last video. And then a friendly reminder, anything raised to the 0 power, we always get 1. Anything raised to the first power, we just get the original value, not changed. And then this is when things start to change, is when you have an exponent of 2, then it's saying to multiply, the exponent of 2 means to multiply it by itself. And then the exponent of 3 just means to multiply it again. So we did this problem already in the last video. And this here is an example if we did the a plus b to the third power. And what we get is a to the third plus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared plus b to the third. So that was the expansion. What I want you guys to see is if there's any patterns. And in class we talked about some patterns. One pattern to notice is that your first term a, it starts with the highest exponent and then it goes down 3, 2, 1, 0. And anything raised to the 0 power turns into a 1. That's why you don't see an a here, because that a was raised to the 0 power and it turned into a 1. And 1 times b to the third is just b to the third. So here there was an, let's see. Here there was an a, and it was literally, this is in green, a to the 0 power. Okay, but it just turned into a 1. And then another thing to notice is that the second term goes from, it says here it goes upwards 0, 1, 2, 3. I like to say it goes from the highest exponent starting at the most right down. So 3, 2, 1, 0. So I like to start, when I write these, I like to start my first term with the highest exponent here from left to right, and then I write my second exponent from right to left. So that's something to notice here. Also, when you add the exponents, this here, if we were just looking at the a squared b, b is to the first power, and a squared and b to the first, if you add the exponents, 2 plus 1 is 3. And here, a to the first and b to the second, a to the first plus 2 is 3. So whatever the exponent is, usually the exponents on the terms add up to that exponent that was originally used. So again, this is up to just the a plus b to the third power. This is the triangle that we kind of seen before. And something to notice is that the coefficients, if you see that there's kind of like this triangle being created where there's 1, 1, 1, 1 all at the edges. And then here, if you, I don't know if you see it, but this goes 1, then 1, 1, then 1, 2, 1. The 2 is coming from adding from the ones from above. So the 2 is adding from the ones above. So that's how you get that. So you add these. 1 plus 1 gives you 2. And same thing here. 1 plus 2 with the coefficients gives you 3. Okay, and then 2 plus 1 gives you 3. So that's an interesting pattern to see. And this pattern is called Pascal triangle. So each number is just 2 numbers above it added. Here they highlighted in green. This is the fourth row. This is the, say if this was like the a plus b raised to the fourth power, this last row here. So they got the 4 because they added the 1 and 3 from above. Okay? Now in class, we talked about that, but then we had a worksheet that we did. And this worksheet was called the Pascal triangle. And what I asked you guys to do was to fill this out. Now this only works when we're talking about coefficients. Okay, coefficients is the first term on the and it is the first term before the variable. So let's talk about the Pascal triangle. So like the slide, it says first we start with a 1, then a 1, 1, then a 1 at the edge, and we add these two together, so we get 2. Then there's a 1 here, and there's a 1 at the end, and we add the 1 and the 2 together, and we get 3. So 3, 3, and then 1. We add these together, 4. Add the 3 plus 3, 6. Add the 3 and 1, 4, and 1. And then so on. So 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. That's how I ended up adding these together. That the 6 plus 4 equals 10. The 1 plus 4 equals 5. And then you can do that so on and so on. In class, I only asked you to do up to 8. The reality is if you were to get tested, we would only go up to 5 for the testing. So you would have to just know that. And you don't have to memorize this. As long as you know how to create the pattern, then you can do it. Okay, once you have that pattern, then we're able to solve for problems, and that will be in the next video. So once you have a pattern, we can solve for problems. But just to talk about it, if something was raised to the fourth power, like a plus b raised to the fourth power, if I was to break this down in steps, step 1 would be, I would list the coefficients first. And then step 2 would be list the first term from highest to lowest. So a to the fourth, 3 to the second, 3a to the third, a to the second, a to the first, and then 1. And then step 3 would be to list the other coefficients. And we'll see that in the next video. Okay, thank you.